For years now, the Pokemon TCG League Battle Deck line of products has been absolutely amazing. You are able to buy whatever League Battle Deck is on the store shelves and trust that you're going to have a competitive deck as a starting point. And in recent times with Dragapult and Charizard and Gardevoir, we have gotten some of the best League Battle decks ever produced. But did Pokemon drop the ball on this upcoming release? I'm Jet from inthirdperson.com. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about the latest upcoming League Battle deck. This time around, we are getting Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX. Now, details are scarce. We do know it's going to cost $29.99 US, and it's going to come out at some point in November. And we don't even have the back of the box. We don't know the full configuration of this deck, but we do get what's on the front here, and we are getting 3 copies of Mewtwo EX, 2 copies of Team Rocket's Crobat EX, and 1 copy of Scramble Switch. And at first glance, maybe there's some amazing tech cards on the inside or whatever, but I have to admit, this is kind of disappointing. Quite frankly, extremely disappointing. At the very least, right this second, this might be the worst League Battle deck we've ever seen. First off, let's talk about Mewtwo EX. It is a big basic with 280 HP, and it has a pretty monster attack. Erasure Ball for 2 Psychic and a Colorless Energy does 160 damage, plus you can discard up to 2 energy from your bench Pokemon. This attack does 60 more damage for each card you discarded in this way. So you are capping out at 280 damage, which is, it's good, but there are other heavy hitters in the format, at least right now, like Goldengo and Raging Bolt, that are doing even more damage than that, and it's not nearly as awkward as swinging for 280 with Mewtwo EX. And because of that, we haven't seen Mewtwo EX in play all that much, and that's even before we account for the Power Saver ability, where this Pokemon can't attack unless you have 4 or more Team Rocket's Pokemon in play. So there's a lot of downsides to Mewtwo EX, and the upsides don't feel particularly great. And because of that, it's just not seeing a lot of play, at least for now, right? So we go to Limitless and see its tournament results, and it's got 3 day 2 finishes at NAIC, with the highest being 294th. So not a lot of play here. And if we are looking at online results, right now, Mewtwo is we have to scroll like all the way down. It is the 29th most played deck with a win percentage of only 44%. And this is a far cry from where the last few League Battle decks have sat, right? We've got Dragapult here, which is number 1, or number 2, number 6, number 8. Charizard we got as a League Battle deck, which is still in the top 10 with 8 and 9. We got Gardevoir, which is here at the 4th place spot, just won Worlds, by the way, and then 15th here as well. Even Miraidon is still getting play with the Joltik box in the top 10, and I get it from a competitive standpoint. Pokemon have done an amazing job giving players meta decks to the point where most of the top 10 is already covered with the League Battle deck. Unfortunately, they couldn't run out Goldengo because that's rotating soon. Grimmsnarl already got a level 2 deck. Raging Bolt is not going to work because Sada's Vitality is rotating next year and the deck's going to be way worse. Typhlosion is not a EX Pokemon, like not a multi-prizer or a prestige card, so they can't put that in a box. So like you're already below the top 10 of decks before you get here. But I feel like there were better choices than Mewtwo and Crobat here. And we haven't even talked about Crobat yet. So Crobat EX has seen like no play. It has no tournament results. In Japan, it has like a little bit, but even then, like we haven't seen it get any play since May. And even then, the results page is pretty scarce for Crobat. But yeah, Crobat, stage 2 Pokemon, Dark type, 310 HP. For 2 Dark Energy, you do 120 damage, and you may put this Pokemon into your hand, so there could be a potential hit and run strategy you could use with Crobat EX. And I have seen some deck lists where if you're building around Crobat in particular, you can tech in a Mewtwo EX, so you've got a little bit of synergy between the Mewtwo and the Crobat. However, Otherwise, we just haven't seen this see any sort of competitive play. Should also note here that it has the ability Biting Spree, where when you evolve up to Crobat from your hand, you can choose 2 of your opponent's Pokemon and put 2 damage counters on each of them. So a little bit of extra damage could fix a bit of math for Mewtwo, but right now this is seeing no play whatsoever. The last notable card on the front of the box is Scramble Switch, where you can switch your active Pokemon with one on the bench and then move the energy from that bench Pokemon that you just moved over to the new active Pokemon. This is a spec that sees very little play. It does work in niche spots, and I kind of get it in the context of a Team Rocket deck where you are doing a bunch of switching here and there, especially getting a fresh Mewtwo in play after it tanks a hit, and then put the energy on, especially since getting energy on a Mewtwo EX is kind of weird with Team Rocket energy and stuff. But this is not necessarily the best ace spec you want here for this particular archetype, or just one that you want to splash into other decks. As much as I frown upon this product right now, maybe it's not too late. Maybe Team Rocket's Mewtwo is going to get a ton of support in the future. Things may just change. We are getting Mega Evolution Pokemon in the very near future, at which point maybe Team Rocket's Mewtwo is even more of a valuable Pokemon, where it can 2-shot 3 prize Pokemon, and it's got really high HP, and there will be 3 prize Pokemon that cannot 1-shot a Mewtwo EX in return. And maybe we'll find some stuff with Crobat where it can do some cool hit and run things and some walling strategies that have not arisen just yet. But on the surface, thinking about all of the League Battle decks that we have gotten in recent years, this feels like the worst one. I would say it's like at least the second worst one. I think the Miraidon deck, like the way it was constructed, was really bad, but the core of having Miraidon was great, in the sense that if you wanted to put in the effort to upgrade all of it, you would get a deck that could potentially win Worlds. And we've seen Miraidon do incredibly well, including get 3rd place at Worlds one year. However, right now, the case for this Mewtwo deck being the worst League Battle deck is just, this is just an archetype that has not seen a lot of play because it's just not particularly strong out of the box. Even if this was a perfectly built Mewtwo Crobat deck, the ceiling for this archetype at this point in time is just very low. And again, things can change over time. Maybe Pokemon knows something that we do not, and Mewtwo EX may come into prominence at some point in this product's lifespan. And quite frankly, I really hope that's the case. Otherwise, this is going to be a massive miss of a product, and I cannot recommend picking this up when it comes out in November. Instead, I would very much suggest you pick up the Dragapult one instead. Or, yeah, at this point, I would pick up just the Dragapult one, because Charizard is rotating soon. Gardevoir is rotating soon. I would steer you towards the Dragapult one instead. Again, I kind of understand how we even got here in the first place. Pokemon have done an amazing job of providing players with meta archetypes during the Scarlet and Violet era as League Battle decks, and we've covered most of the top 10 between Gardevoir, Charizard, Miraidon, and Dragapult. And once you got to go like below the top 10, at which point you're getting, I still think even in the context of that below the top 10, there are still archetypes I would have preferred. Let's go back to that list. I'm just rambling at this point, but like Flareon box could have been that deck. I think it would have been a better choice than Mewtwo. We could have gone with Zoroark. If we were gonna go with the trainer's Pokemon, and Zoroark has been doing very well of late and did top 8 at Worlds as well. We could have gone with, I think, or Chaludon hasn't seen a lot of play of late, but like that's a good archetype here as well. I feel like we could have picked something else other than Mewtwo and Crobat here, and this is like, again, I love League Battle decks. They are my favorite Pokemon TCG product because you can just buy a League Battle deck and then have the foundation for a really strong deck that can help you get into competitive play. And I really feel like the Mewtwo one at this point in time is not it. I do think it's probably gonna sell okay to the casual player that sees, oh, here's a bunch of Mewtwo's, and Mewtwo's my favorite Pokemon, and I'm gonna buy this, and I'm sure it'll probably play okay. I think, like, to the benefit of Team Rocket, like, there's a lot of great supporter cards in that ecosystem of Team Rocket, but just the actual Pokemon themselves are a little underwhelming in this particular meta that we're in right this second. Again, things may change over time, but right now I'm pretty down on this product. But for now, I gotta get going. Thank you so much for watching. You can find me on all the things: YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at In Third Person. You can find me on Twitch, where I usually stream the Pokemon trading card game every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Right now, I'm on a bit of a break. It's been very busy in my family life, so I just have not been able to stream, and that's also why the YouTube channel has slowed down a little bit, just because I'm busy being a family man, as Guile would say from Street Fighter. And check out the website inthirdperson.com for more articles and videos on video games, board games, and other nerdy pursuits. So until the next one, I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hopefully it's better news next time.